Bama gets ready for Wisconsin, and we're going to hear from Tyler Booker about the offensive line. Big question marks after the game last week against South Florida. Are they going to be ready for the Badgers? The House of Pain plays in Wisconsin. You know that. You know the House of Pain?
I do.
Jump around? Jump around?
Jump around.
Radio stations, right?
Yeah. I do it every morning before I go to work.
Jump around right here on the show. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Let's get this thing on. Jump around, jump up, and get down. How old is that song, man? I mean, to think that
was in the late 80s, early 90s, right?
Was it? Yeah. The House of Pain, man. Like, I thought there might be an influx of Irish-themed rap music, but it was just those guys.
No, that's no.
I'm Boston. Boston, right? It was from Boston. Well, that's the reason we bring it up is that we're playing Wisconsin and they do the jump around in between the third and fourth quarter. It's really going to be a fun atmosphere. And Alabama and their coaches are talking about embracing going to Camp Randall. This is really going to be one of those fun events, and it is what makes college football great. When you go on the road and you see a matchup like this, very excited about this game on Saturday. But Bama's got a lot of questions, Brett. Yeah. One of them is offensive line and how this offensive line is going to respond after I felt like they didn't really have a great game against South Florida.
No, they didn't. I mean, this is the first time I think we've talked since the post game, but there's a lot of question marks there on the team. The score was not indicative of how the game went, and it was a little concerning, but we'll see. I mean, it's a new week. What worries me is the first road test. You're going to Camp Randall for the first time since 1928. And it's hard for me to believe that these two teams have only met twice on the field.
Yeah, that time, and then Jake Coker and those guys played him in Dallas. But is anyone alive that was at the game in 28?
People would look at me and say, he probably remembers and he was there.
Hey, let's hear from Tyler Booker. Let's talk about the offensive line. That's funny. I don't look at you and think that.
I think we just really enforced finish. You know what I mean? We knew we didn't play where we needed to play in order to perform the way we needed to in that game. So our whole mantra, our whole mindset is going 1-0, and we just kept going 1-0. 1-0 means focus on the next play, not the play before. So we just kept going and focusing on that. And then Coach DeBoer preaches to us, keep playing, and the game will come back to you. And we played hard from the jump. We just weren't executing to where we needed to. And we kept playing, and the game finally came back to us.
There you go. I love this guy. I'm going to tell you that right now, Brett.
I do too. And he reminds me of me when I wake up in the morning. He's all out of breath and his hair is just out of whack. I walk across the house and I'm like, man, head in my head. And I'm like, oh, and my hair's all discombobulated. But no, I love Tyler Booker. And, but yeah, I mean, it's a new week, a lot of challenges ahead. South Florida, we knew this and we talked about it last week. They gave us problems last year. Their head coach was the offensive coordinator at Tennessee when they finally beat us. I figured we'd run into some trouble, and we did. But what I like is we persevered. We got over that hump and we won, and the score, looked pretty good. But like I say, we got a lot of room for improvement. We better get it done quick, though, because Wisconsin's going to be ready. That's another USF game. And I'm not trying to compare the two programs because Wisconsin's a very traditional, power. And I've always loved the brand of football that Wisconsin plays. They eat cornbread there. Do you understand? You understand what I'm saying?
No.
They eat cornbread there. Those are, my dad used to tell me, he said, them boys right there are cornbread fed. and they are. And I like that matchup. But they're going to treat this game just like we talked about last week, Mick. This is their Super Bowl. And then we actually go into a Super Bowl. And we better get our stuff together.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm with you on that. We got to get our stuff together. As they practice and get ready for Wisconsin, I think that we've seen the worst of the offensive line. And it is scary a little bit. I felt like the strength of this team was going to be the offensive line. And obviously the offensive line had a tough game last time out. But they also had Caden Proctor. We heard from Coach DeBoer. He said that, he's right there to being back. Elijah Pritchett was in the game late, and when he came in, things started happening for Alabama. Wilkin Formby talked to Mike Johnson on the All-American Report. For those of you that are subscribers to Cover Crimson, you get to watch that. But he broke down the whole offensive line, and he was talking about who Formby reminded him of, and basically said the guy's going to be just fine. Just a bad game. So I know that, but the bottom line is this: is that I thought that was the strength of this football team, and right now it's been, to me, the defensive line has been the strength of the team. Q Robinson and Jahad Campbell and Deontay Lawson and just those guys, Tim Keenan. They have done a great job. Defensive line, linebackers, of helping take care of business.
Yeah, they have. And
did you hear that?
I did.
Okay.
But
just pretend you didn't hear that. Just
okay. Well, I don't know what I heard. What? No, I heard nothing. No, the thing is, we knew the defensive line was going to be pretty good. During the offseason, that was one of the units that got a lot of praise. We thought the offensive line was going to be really, really, really good too. But I'm actually glad that we had some adversity, in this game against USF, because, it's how you respond, and they responded well. We won the ball game, and here we go to Wisconsin.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line. It is about winning. And I'm going to tell you this.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. Is it was close, but you got to play 60 minutes.
Right.
And exactly. I don't feel sorry for that score of 42-16 because they didn't play 60 minutes. They got blown out at the end, but they got blown out. Okay.
Right.
If you want to give up 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, we didn't know. We played, but you don't play 40 minutes. You don't play 42 minutes. You don't play 46. You play 60.
Exactly.
And that's what Booker was saying in his quote. He's like, look, DeBoer tells us that if we keep playing, the game will come back to us. We saw that so many times over the years with Nick Saban too.
Yeah.
Where the game comes back to you if you stick there and you play it the right way.
Right. And they did. And that's what counts. And looking forward to Saturday. I hate the 11 o'clock kickoff.
You do?
I hate it.
Oh man.
Jeez. I hate it. But anyway, it'll be good. We'll get it out of the way. Hopefully we'll have a big win and can celebrate the weekend. But I want to tell you, moving on, Hayes Fawcett from On3 reported last night, there's in recruiting news, an elite 2025 edge guy, Javion Hilson. He's going to be visiting 7 schools. Alabama is one of those. He'll be in attendance for the Florida-Texas A&M game this weekend. He's the number 2 edge in the 2025 class. But what's interesting is is he was committed to Florida State. He decommitted on Sunday. And if I had anything to do with Florida State, I would decommit everything I had.
They lost a lot of momentum since last year.
Yeah, you think it's a little bit of lost momentum, maybe a little bit. Just
yeah,
a
little bit. Well, look, here's the bottom line. It's Alabama needs another edge, another pass rusher, another defensive lineman, because of Antonio Coleman flipping back to Auburn. And I don't know if Coleman's going to flip back to Alabama or not, but there's a spot open in this class for that particular spot, that position. So it'll be interesting to see. And, as Alabama plays and people get more comfortable with Coach DeBoer, as Alabama builds their NIL, they're going to do better as far as bringing in players. They're going to have to win on trust. They're going to have to win on a program that people still think can win championships. That's a part of this, but it's also a part of it to be able to go out there and show that not a lot's changed. Yeah. Alabama's still going to contend for a national championship. So that's good news. It really is.
That's good news. And then finally, a lot of folks love for us to talk hoops. And Mick, I don't know how many days. I think we're like 50, between 50 and 60 days till basketball season.
Right.
And Bama picked up pretty good commitment yesterday. 2025 four-star strong forward Amari Allen committed to Alabama over Wisconsin and Minnesota, Mississippi State, and several others. He was in town August 30th through the 31st. He visited Tuscaloosa and committed to Alabama, and that's good news for our basketball program, which is going to be very, very good.
Honestly, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You watch the amount of talent that Nate Oates is not only getting to come to Alabama, but in the mix for. He's up against the Blue Bloods. He's doing it in an arena that has not traditionally been a basketball arena. I mean, we've seen championships with gymnastics, and it's perfect for gymnastics, but for basketball, hasn't been that great. But we've got to make sure.
One day we were talking off the air, and you called it a shithole.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly what it is.
Look, I had to come back today with fire, and
that's what it is.
I'll just throw you under the bus.
No, it is. It is. And honestly, guys, it is. It's just not. It's not up to standard. I've broadcasted games from every arena in the SEC besides Oklahoma and Texas, and by far, it's one of the worst. It just isn't set up the right way.
Coliseum, though.
No,
there's so much that has going on there.
I'm not saying that I graduated in there. I'm not saying that I don't appreciate the nostalgia, but when you compare it to the facilities,
Led Zeppelin played there.
So did the Dead. I mean, I get that. Like, that's great. But at the same time, either you got to gut the place, you need luxury boxes. The seats need to, instead of being way out, they need to be up close.
I understand.
There's just the media sitting in the aisles and stuff. I mean, it's just not good. And
I know.
But the guy keeps on trucking.
You, Mick. I'm just busted.
When Christy Curry's always got an excuse for why she's not competing for anything.
I knew she was going to be brought up. Go ahead.
We got this guy going to the Final Four.
I know that. Yes, exactly. No, I agree with you. I'm just I was busting you up, but no, I agree with it. But like you mentioned, the way he's recruited to this place, pretty impressive.
Unbelievable. Can you imagine if you gave him like I guess it doesn't even matter, but if he had an arena that was in the middle of the pack in the SEC and not at the bottom.
Yeah.
But he's turned it into something special, man. I love this guy.
It doesn't matter where you play. The length of the basketball court is the same.
That's true. And that's what he proves.
That's exactly right. That's what he proves. He said, it doesn't matter. We're going to go play in Boutwell Auditorium. Now, that place is the depths of hell. We're going to play in Boutwell Auditorium. Okay,
in Birmingham.
great.
That's right. I love the guy. Absolutely love him.
Too.
You guys know I bonded with him at the mullet toss. You know, him and me together in our magical moment when we were there.
The magical moment and all this other stuff had happened. And man, I just you just let's go ahead and put this back up. The mullet toss. In case y'all forgot, this was what the toss was. This was months ago. Mick has kept this up on the screen the entire offseason as a reminder that Coker beat him, but Mick beat Ryan Anderson, Malachi Moore, and Jalen Milroe in the mullet toss. And let me tell you something, pal. That's why I'm friends with you.
I crushed Milroe. I crushed Milroe.
There you go.
I can't wait to get. I hope he comes back next year. All right, look, Brett. Let me tell you a couple things first, right off the bat. Show's always brought to you by Pearl River Resort. You know this, Brett. The American people know this. Alabama fans know this. We appreciate them so much. But I'm going to tell you guys the same thing I say every day. It is a fun vacation, and you don't have to go that far. It's in Pearl River, which is Philadelphia, Mississippi, just past Tuscaloosa. And easy to get in and easy to get out. Great prices. You got Golden Moon Casino. In there is the Timeout Sports Lounge, which is a Vegas-style sports book. You also have Silver Star. So you got table games and slots, both places. You got Dancing Rabbit Golf Course. You put $50 down. At the sports book, you can play Dancing Rabbit for $40. Really is a great deal. Water park, spa, great acts coming up. Gary Allen's going to be there. So is Scotty McCrary, celebrating 30 years at Pearl River Resort, and we appreciate them. Also, our friends at New Life Art, pimp the man caves, man. Take advantage of this. Use the promo code Bama Tailgate. Go to New Life Art and use our promo code when you're updating the Daniel Moore pictures. Maybe you want the Nick Saban calendar this year, but they got all that stuff there. They're the best, and I've got a studio full of them. I love them all. And I've loved them since I got to Alabama. I mean, like, it was such a big deal when I got my first Daniel Moore print. I remember putting it on the wall and thinking, hey, look, there's Gene Stallings. You know, he's in my house. And then Sean Alexander, you know, I had the Swamp. That was my senior year. Like, that was up there, you know. And now because of Saban, we got a lot of them. All right, when we come back from this quick timeout, Brett's going to take over. Good to have him back on the show, as I promised yesterday. So, big sexy Elmo right up.
Pearl River Resort. They call him Big Sexy. Coming at you from the Walker County. Jasper is his hometown. He's known for giving free rundowns. Oh, Big Sexy. Throwing out those Alabama thoughts. Sneaking out your mom's window without getting caught. It gives you the XP, but Big Elmo is here to please. Big Sexy Elmo on the Bama Tailgate Show.
Yes. Mick, how are you today?
I'm great. I'm great.
You called me yesterday, and you wanted me to call you.
Oh,
and we talked last night, and I didn't break the news to you. I'm sorry that I have to break it to you now.
Uh-oh.
The Booby Trap is for sale.
You've got to be kidding me.
No, and there's people that's wanting me and you to buy this. It's only $400,000. It's for sale. It made the news yesterday, and I was like, when you tried to, when you tried to call me, I didn't want to break it to you that the world famous Booby Trap was for sale.
Is it ever going to open up? We got to get our swag, our Booby Trap swag before that place closes.
I tried to get you to go with me the last time you was here, and to get you a shirt.
All we want is we go for the hot wings.
I don't think they serve hot wings there.
There's one in Atlanta that people go to, and they say it's because the wings are really good.
Yeah, I bet it is. but let me tell you something. The listing is like for $400,000. You can own like the world famous Wesley's Booby Trap. Dancers not included.
Oh boy, well they got it shut down. You know, there's some girls that probably aren't happy right now with the ones that complained. They got the place shut down, but you got what was it that they didn't get vacation or something?
Oh, they went on vacation, then they decided to sell the whole place.
Yeah, but there they did something wrong, like they didn't pay somebody or something?
No, they didn't do anything. Excuse me? How dare you?
Okay.
How dare you?
My bad. I better get my Booby Trap facts right.
Wait a minute. Get your trap facts straight.
Oh my God. That's so
get your, and then I tell you, a sad day here in this world. I mean, I'm telling you. And I didn't want to break the news to you yesterday, and then it happened, and so I wanted to break the news to you this morning that it's over. And I don't know if I'm supposed to change my intro or not. And it happens on the same day that I made the newspaper about my expansion on my business. And I thought to myself today, you know what? I should have saved my money. I could have bought the trap instead of having radio stations.
I know, you just buy all these. You're a mogul now, but look at your picture there.
Oh,
is that you cleaned up there?
Oh yeah, that's my yeah.
That's how you got the nickname Big Sexy.
Exactly right. No, normally we keep things light. We keep things light on this segment, and I want to give one celebrity birthday. Coach Bryant's birthday was today.
Coach Bear Bryant, man. I mean, I got to tell you, when I got to Alabama and everywhere you would go, people, back then it wasn't that long after Bear Bryant was wasn't coaching anymore. I mean, he died in the 80s. I was there in the late 90s, but there were a lot of people that you ran into that were touched by Coach Bryant, whether it be people that were at the hospital there or worked for the football team or had businesses, and he would come in. But he was not just a great football coach. He was a great guy, and people loved him. And he was like the face of the state of Alabama. And there was just something cool about him. There was something fun about Coach Bryant. And it's hard to, think about the state of Alabama without thinking about Coach Bryant, even to this day.
Yeah. I think he would have been 111. But anyway, it's his birthday today. And like I talked to you before the show, normally we keep this very light, but I just want to, I didn't want to do anything other than say that today's 9/11, and it was a day that our world changed. And we can look at the calendar and we can look at all this other stuff and joke around about some things, but I think it's important to remember 9/11. It was a day that I will never forget. I mean, I can tell you exactly what I did that day, where I went that day, and I'll tell you, woke up that morning, getting ready to go. I was in my first year of college at Bevel State Community College in Jasper. And I'd start my day. I'd turn on the TV and the Today Show or whatever, just have something on. And I saw everything transpire. And I remember calling my mom, who was at work. And I remember hearing, screams from everybody in her department because they were watching as the second plane hit. And I went on to school. And my professor said, everybody go home, just go home. And I remember talking to my dad that day. That was like early days, I guess, of really good cell phones. And he had one, and he was driving a 18-wheeler at the time, hauling coal. And he said, I'm coming home. He said, we're under attack. And I was working at Sound Shop inside Jasper Mall. And for some reason, that stupid place did not close. But I remember me and Nicole that you've met, Mick. Nicole that did our hats and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We worked at Sound Shop together. The mall was completely dead. And we sat in the back office and listened to the radio to all the coverage. And it was a scary, scary day. And I just want to remember 9/11 today.
Yeah, look, man, I was at Alabama when it happened.
Yeah.
And I remember getting the call, like at 9 o'clock, and they're like, you see what's happening right now?
Right.
And I'm like, no, I mean, I had a late night, the 10th. And I was like, no.
Surprise.
It was, but that was back before everybody had cell phones. I mean, it was like a.
Yeah. My dad had a cell phone.
I had a wireless phone.
It was one of those Nextel or Southern Link because, he was a coal truck driver.
Yeah, they had to have those. Well, not everybody. I didn't have a cell phone. But I was at Alabama, man, and I went to Fat Phillies. My buddy owned a restaurant, Fat Phillies. When I was at Alabama, I'm probably the only person watching that actually had a sandwich named after them. It was called the Gillespie at Fat Phillies. It was a chicken Philly with everything but the kitchen sink. And I'm going to tell you, I sat over there and we watched I remember watching people jump out of those windows. And my buddy Jake, he shut the place down and went over there and helped capture the number 3 guy that was part of that, and then eventually was killed over there. So, it had a lot of impact on our lives, and it's still hard to believe that it happened. And I mean, and it's been 23 years. So it's crazy how fast it goes by.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I've never seen the country so united.
Yeah.
After that happened, I wish we would get back to that. But I also remember that the High School Athletic Association did not cancel the games on Friday night because we needed some normalcy, Mm-hmm. And I remember that game so vividly. Of course, I've covered people that know me. Covered the Walker Vikings, Jasper Vikings for 100 years now. Mm-hmm. But I remember it so vividly, and we played Gardendale that night and won on the last second play, and everybody in the stands had American flags, and it was just an eruption. And I mean, it just sends chills up your spine, Mm-hmm. But we remember that, and that's kind of what I wanted to do today. Is just I don't care about if it's not National Hot Dog Day or not. If it is, I may get one. But anyway, but anyway, just remembering 9/11 and all those that lost their lives.
Mm-hmm. And I guess the best way to end the show is by saying, "Let's roll."
Got it.
Talk to you guys tomorrow. Thank you for hanging out with us. Have a great day.